Hi friends, good morning. Today I'm making a video on the contemptuous civil contempt being committed by Delhi GST department and its officers when they exercise the power to give refunds. We all know refunds is governed by section 54, read with rule 89, 90, etc. Now, rules are machinery provision that support the act. Refund is given under section 54(1), read with 54A, that is documents, and under 54(5), the refund order is passed by the proper officer. The proper officer is defined in section 291. Now, I was horrified to see the refund process in one of my own matters, where the refund acknowledgement itself was given after 7-8 months, after persistent follow-up by the taxpayer and their chartered accountants. The only excuse given by the proper officer in KCS was that these files were not brought to his notice. I very closely examined the process because I don't do refund cases. Now this process is horrible. It's horrified how these guys defy the law for reasons best known to them, and the reasons are very obvious. I need not speak in this video. The even acknowledgement in RFD 02 is not given by the proper officer. He has to make out a note, the application has been received from Falafala dealer. It is put up to the special commissioner if the refund is above 10 lakh rupees. The special commissioner takes his own sweet time, and lot of visits have to be made to him to get acknowledgement of the refund application. And this process in few cases has taken 6-7 months. Now, how could this be done? This is so horrible, it's unbelievable, because the refund has to be given within 60 days as per section 54 subsection 7, and the deficiencies memo has to be given before RFD 02 is issued, which is maximum time 15 days. Delhi High Court, Indian International and Supreme Court have been confirming such orders that these limits are mandatory in nature. Supreme Court in number of cases dealing with GST, dealing with VAT, dealing with excise, dealing with customs, service tax, has consistently held that these limits are mandatory. That is, the refund must be given within 60 days or interest meter starts after the expiry of 60 days from date of application. Now, if date of application was 1/1/24, RFD 02, that is acknowledgement of the refund application, is given after 7 months, and it takes further 4-5 months before the Honorable Special Commissioner says that okay, give the refund. Now, as per section 54, it's very clear that the particulars given in the application are as per rule prescribed, or if the applicant wants to give any other evidence in terms of section 33, this is also given. This is section 54 subsection A. And then there are circulars number of the board, what particular need to be given. If all these particulars are given, then the proper officer has no further jurisdiction to ask for documents. Now, they not only ask for documents, sir, they make physical visits through their inspectors. This is so horrible. It is such a defiance of law. It's unbelievable that all these commissioners and special commissioners who are supposed to be IAS officers, they allow this to happen. These inspectors don't go to any factory or unit. They simply call for photographs through the councils or through the employees of that taxpayer, and they submit their physical reports. Now, once the physical reports are filed, and then they issue RFD 08, that is a kind of a show cause notice. In that show cause notice, they ask documents and explanations which are not a part of the act. Because if the particular refund are as prescribed in the act or in the board circular, there is no jurisdiction whatsoever with any authority to go beyond these circular which are binding upon them. But I now know a number of cases where there is a complete intentional and willful defiance of this law by these officers. And the commissioner sitting at top, what is his job? He or she knows that there is a intentional defiance of Delhi High Court judgments, intentional defiance and contempt of Supreme Court judgments, and still the special commissioners sign files much after mandatory time. They don't even write why was acknowledgement were not given in time, because for acknowledgement also for refunds above 10 lakh, the special commissioner has to approve. This is absolutely disgusting, and that is why the government doesn't get GST revenue. That is why there's a rampant corruption. In Delhi now they have started another scheme. The refund applications have been randomized. That is, if the application of refund pertains to Ward 1, it can be given to Ward 2, Ward 2, 3. That is to equally distribute the refund work among the officers. This is the logic given by officers to me personally. ये लोग सबको एक जैसा काम देना चाहते हैं. Now this is, I don't know what to say about this kind of a procedure. This is absolute, disgusting, contemptuous, and so-called very ridiculous. What kind of harassment taxpayers go through, you can't imagine. In the case I am referring, it's more than a year. The fellows did nothing. Only when I went there and raised my voice, gave them threat of contempt, that file was put up to special commissioner. Immediately acknowledgement was given along with RRD 08 straight away. Notwithstanding the law, we still filed all the replies. When files were put up to special commissioner, he did not issue the refund. He put some further queries which are not as per law. Because if the refund is erroneously given, there's section 73, 74 provisions. They can always invoke those provisions against the assessee. He is not running away. Now, if for exporters or for inverted duty structure or other matters, and even for appeals where we give pre-deposit, that money has to be refunded, even those applications are not processed quickly. Now, if Delhi department or other departments are doing this, following this kind of a procedure, they are constituting a bench of illegal officers against the assessee, and he knows nothing about the procedures. Then what is going to happen? Now take one more offshoot. The proper officer is nothing but a postman, in my view. He is nothing. He is an agent of special commissioner. Special commissioner says issue acknowledgement, he issues. Special commissioner says give refund, he passes refund order and signs. But the refund order is pre-approved by special commissioner. That is, this order is of special commissioner. This communication is by the proper officer. How can an officer junior to special commissioner sit in appeal against such orders? I fail to understand. My 40 years experience is totally in vain when I hear these things. Very painful. Lakhs of people are being affected in Delhi. And Delhi revenue minister or Delhi government, or the lieutenant governor, they all know what's happening there. And the commissioners who are posted, they know zero GST in my opinion. This happening right under their nose. And those special commissioners who are supposed to be expert in refund matters, what are they doing? They should not be even touching the file, because they are not the proper officer for the purpose of section 54(5). And now that we are told these are internal instructions given. Under what law? I've examined section 167, I've examined section 168. No such directions can be given by through way of circular, even notifications, because one act prescribes a procedure that must be followed. Now, one more issue in Delhi. All refunds below 10 lakh rupees can be cleared by a proper officer. Again, this is not a part of the Act. There are no financial limits placed in the scheme of the Act or rules, and no such circulars can be given by the government. This is illegal. Against all such orders where refund below 10 lakh were given by a proper officer, they have been subjected to audit. And I am told more than 15,000 appeals have been filed before first chapter authority against these officers who pass the refunds. What about refunds above 10 lakh rupees? Were they all given validly? There should be no audit where refunds worth crores were given because your special commissioner has okayed it. Now, this is uncalled for. This should never be allowed by the Delhi government. Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Finance Minister of India must look into what is going on in Delhi. This is illegal procedure. As a lawyer, I must raise my voice. But it was so painful. I went through it personally, not because of the refund. I don't care they gave a refund or not. We can go to court of law, hold them in contempt. But this contemptuous defiance of Delhi High Court judgments, Supreme Court judgments, is being allowed left, right, and center. This has to stop. And all those officers, including IAS officers, who have not followed the law, they must be brought to books. Because I will personally file an RTA application of what kind of refunds have been given by special commissioners and in what period and on what basis. Because I have seen these files where files are cleared by special commissioner and the proper officer simply conveys that order to taxpayers. So who is the proper officer? Is he a peon of special commissioner? It is his jurisdiction. That is, the Delhi government is allowing the proper officer to abdicate their jurisdiction to the dictates of higher-ups. That tomorrow there's an inquiry, where we will ensure there are inquiries in these matters in Delhi. Who will be held responsible? Well, friend, these proper officers will have to face the wrath of the law because they abdicated their jurisdiction intentionally based on whatever instructions they have. They must put forward the law to the commissioner that this is the law. Do you want us to defy the law? Do you want us to defy the judgments of Delhi High Court, Supreme Court? And above all, they do not give interest. Even if they hold the refund for 2 years, in spite of the application, they don't give refund interest. And if you call for interest, they give threats to the taxpayer. You want interest, we will raid you. Well, friend, this video is very painful. And this is eye-opener because I went through this in person in my own matter. And this is so ridiculous. This is so painful. This is so shameful on this part of this special commissioner and the proper officer. Is that together they have constituted a bench. Bench is what? There is an inspector involved. There is a PN involved. There is a GST involved. There is a system commissioner involved. There is special commissioner involved. And all happening under the nose of commissioner who is the head of the department. And commissioner has to be the respondent in all proceedings before Honorable High Court. And we are going to take this matter to High Court to expose this kind of collusion, this kind of scandal going on Delhi GST department, where they define the law, absolute contemptuous defiance. They do not even issue acknowledgement within 15 days. They do not issue deficiency memo in 15 days, and they take months, and still they don't give refund. The file is with the special commissioner. सर आप उनको मिल लीजिए. हमने बहुत दिन पहले फाइल भेजा है. उनका कुछ क्वेरी है. And there is a personal hearing before the special commissioner. For what? Under what law? We should know the provision. We don't care what instructions commissioner issues. They cannot be in defiance of law. We lawyers must know the law. And those circulars, instructions should be made public. And does it have approval of GST Council? Does it have approval of the board? The answer is, we have no idea. Well, friends, I thought I'd share the experience and you raise your voice. Don't feel scared. It's not a question of a refund or some fees that we get into our pockets. It is adhering to the legal provisions. We must, as lawyers, we must raise voice. Lawyers gave independence to this country. We have to get independence from this scandalous people who are constituting a bench to harass people for months, for years, and they make our shoes rub through their floors for months. Even then they don't give refund, and the special commissioner rejects the refunds, and then you are told file appeal before the joint commissioner. I have never heard this kind of a ridiculous procedure where a junior officer shall hear the appeal against orders passed by the higher officers. I'm sure we all know what justice we will get. And what happened to refunds above 50 lakh? Have they been audited by the department? If not, why not? Because they are IAS officers? Well, friends, take this video further. Take this everywhere. Contact me if you have more information. I will make another video. God bless you.